Hi everybody, it's the Soap Man, and I'm going to actually film this one today. So I'm making a much bigger soap than I usually do. I've got my Workshop Heritage mold and I have it lined with paper to get as much room inside as I can. I normally use 100 ounces of oil with that one. I'm using 120 ounces of oil because, to be honest, the soap I'm making, it's just easier to do the math and measure it out. So I'm going to have 3 layers on the bottom half. It's going to be Purple Vibrance, solid color, then titanium dioxide white, then ultramarine blue from Crafter's Choice. I'm going to pour each one separate. I want to have a very, very thin, completely flat layer, so I've got to pour it really thin. So what I've done is I have 3 containers of the oils mixed up. I have 3 separate containers of lye. That way, while this one is setting up in the mold, I can pour it really thin and these 2 won't be setting up. And then the top layer is going to be the same 3 colors with an in the pot swirl, and I have that batch, a separate batch, oils and lye separate, so those won't be setting up while I'm waiting. I'm going to fragrance it with an old favorite, Coconut Lime Verbana from Nature's Garden, and I'm using it because I know it behaves really, really well and holds a nice strong scent. So this is the Purple Vibrance. Now this is once again just the oils. I went ahead and put the Purple Vibrance in, and I even put the fragrance in because I know it behaves really well and I'm going to pour it quickly. So, oh, also I made some embeds to go on the top of sea creatures. They did not do well. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was too hot. This is supposed to be a deep Purple Vibrance, and this is supposed to be the deep blue with the ultramarine. I do not know what happened, but anyway, you know, it is what it is, nothing I can do about it. So let's go ahead and just mix this up. Once again, this is just the oils, and I did put the fragrance in, so let's just get it mixed up first. And let's get the lye in, and this is going to be a very, very full container. But I pre-measured ahead of time, weighed it out to make sure it would hold everything, and it did. I knew it would be full, but it would hold everything. Okay, everything's well mixed, but nice and thin. So let's quickly get it poured into the mold. And there we go. So I will do that with the other 2 colors. I'll bring you back just for the pour. I won't show you the mix because I don't think you want to see that. So I will let that set up nice and firm. Then we'll mix the next one up. So that's the reason I'm doing different batches. I've got my oils and lye separated. So see you for the pour with the next one. And I just realized you weren't in frame for that. Sorry about that. So I will see you in a minute for the next. All right, here goes the white layer. See, I had plenty time to let that set up and get nice and firm, and pour this while it's nice and smooth and flowing, so I can get those really, really smooth, flat layers that I wanted. And I'll be back with the next one. All right, and our final bottom half layer, ultramarine blue. So I'll let that set up while I'm getting ready for the in the pot swirl on the top. So I'll see you in a minute when I'm ready. Okay, I am ready for the top portion, the in the pot swirl. So I've gone ahead and split my batches up because this batch was sitting as separate lye and oils while this was firming up. So I had plenty of time to work, so I had plenty of time to let that get really nice and hard. I've gone ahead and put my colors in. This has only been hand stirred, not stick blended, so I'm going to stick blend it now, especially with the white with all that titanium dioxide. And then I'm going to hand stir the fragrance in. Even though it behaves really well, I just want to keep it as fluid as possible so I can get a nice slow pour. So let me give these a quick stick blend, and then I'll hand stir the fragrance. So approximately half into the big one, and a quarter each into the small ones. I'm going to have one heck of a mess to clean up. So let's get these in here. I'll pour about half on that side, half of the blue on that side, about half of the purple up to the front, and roughly half of the purple to the back. I will scrape these out into the container. Since this is a larger batch, I'm going to give it a very quick stir. I don't often stir it, but I'm just literally going to go around the edges one time, down the center, and that is it. And we are at a great pouring consistency. And that's rock solid, so I'm not even remotely concerned about piercing through. Since I'm going to put, I love the top just like that, but since I'm going to cover that with embeds, just go ahead and scrape all of this out so I can have as much in here as possible. Alright, that is really thin, so I'm going to let that sit for just a minute before I put the embeds. I'm not going to talk while I put the embeds on. I'll probably speed it up because it's going to be probably pretty boring. So I will see you in just a minute for the embeds. Alright, it's the next day and time to cut our soap. And on the pour, everything went great. Keeping my batches separate, 3 separate batches here and then a separate for the top just worked out great. Kept everything nice and fluid. I got really neat straight lines, just like the equivalent of melt and pour. I think on the top I had a little too much accent color because it seems to have been muddied. Got a nice shiny top on it after I steamed it. The embeds lightened up after I steamed it. They kind of brightened up. I lost one there and I glued it in with melt and pour, but it didn't stick. But here's the inside. But just look at those straight lines. That's just like melt and pour straight. Up here, a little more color than I wished. I'd like to have had more white. But anyway, that's how it goes sometimes. So let's see, let's get you lined up here and let's see what the cut bars look like, and hopefully the embeds will stay on. I waited just a little bit too long to put them on, and kind of a crusted, film had formed on the top where it was starting to set up, so I waited just a little too long to put them on. Lesson learned. Oh wow, it is a hard bar. Because I poured it really hot and then wrapped it to encourage a really hot gel. But no glycerin rivers. So yeah, the bottom's exactly what I was hoping for. The top, maybe not quite so much. I was hoping a little more color differentiation. I also did a little bit more substantial water discount because of the titanium dioxide and the ultramarine blue, just to be certain that I didn't get glycerin rivers, so that probably also contributes to a harder bar. Yep, these are all going to look the same, so I'll cut the rest off camera so we don't have too long a video here. But I like this. I'll do it again. I'll just put a little bit less color in the top. So anyway, I will go ahead and finish cutting these and then line them up and get a photo. And as always, thanks for watching, and y'all stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and be blessed. And I'll get this uploaded next Saturday, which is the day before Easter, so I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Bye, everybody.